Hello friends, Tal here and welcome to another Legion video. Today we're going to be taking a look at my shameless love affair with the Vengeance Demon Hunter, and we're going to be doing that by going through Raid Finder. LFR, yes, it's not the most difficult content, yes, it's not the most exciting content, but to be honest, it's a little bit difficult to go ahead and tank a Mythic Hellfire Citadel on a 710 Demon Hunter with no ring. So I mean, I'm not gonna get too crazy. I was trying to do some heroics earlier in the week, but I really couldn't find a good decent group to go through them with, so I decided, screw it, I'm gonna jump into LFR, show you guys something different other than dungeon gameplay, and hopefully it goes well. I actually hope that maybe some shit hits the fan and I get to really showcase many of the different aspects about the Demon Hunter that makes me just absolutely love them. So a little bit of an update though. My gear is pretty good. I have a Mythic Titan Forge 755 helm. Terrible stats for tanking, but you know, whatever, I'm not going to complain too much. But you can see here my gear is pretty decent. It's not the best in the world, but it's not awful. Honestly, I just wanted to make this video just to kind of talk about why I love this spec so much, this class. There's just so much good that's going on here with the Vengeance Demon Hunter. It's a really fun time to go ahead and do. It reminds me a lot about the way that I felt the first time I played the Brewmaster Monk. It reminds me of that joy that many different things that are running around inside and spinning plates and having to use all these different things to keep yourself alive. They do play a little bit different than monks, admittedly, but what I like about them that is similar still is that many different ways to stay alive sort of gameplay that we see. As you can see here, I'm starting off, I have my Immolation Aura up, I have Demon Spikes up, just, you know, negating all that physical damage that's coming in. And again, this isn't anything that's going to be really, you know, threatening us in any way, shape, or form, but it's fun to do, and I really just wanted to go ahead and show you guys something other than dungeon content. But for the most part, I mean, the Demon Hunter is not the most tankiest of tanks, okay? That has to be said. They need a little bit of a buff, and they already did receive some buffs. If you guys went ahead and saw that video I made about the recent hotfixes, they've already received some buffs. It's still not enough to put them in like the best spot they could be, but some of that is the nature of them being a reactionary tank, very similar to Blood DK. Now this video is actually going to be the first in a series of videos that I'm going to do, just kind of going over little snippets here and there of my thoughts on the different tanks, their place, things that you're going to want to be thinking about as you're going into Legion. That's going to be coming out. I've been taking a lot of time recently to just kind of think about what it is I wanted to do, how I wanted to do it, all that kind of stuff. You know, my cat is doing much better, thankfully, which is great to know. It's great to hear. His vision isn't 100%, but it's a lot better than it was before, so that's good to know. But what I wanted to get across with this video is just how much fun the Vengeance Demon Hunter is and how much everything that they do ties into each other. If you notice, a lot of your abilities do fire damage, and that fire damage with some artifact traits is going to be giving you some nice little hot healing. It's not too big and bursty. Most of the big bursts, for example, things like Sigil of Flame, has been kind of reduced a little bit, so it's not super bursty healing on you, but it's definitely enough. Let me try to move away from this guy a little bit. And it's just these different aspects of the class that mesh really well together, that make it just such a fun thing. Besides how amazing it is to just double jump, glide all over the place, and it actually is like faster than normal walking, so that's pretty fun. But there's just so many aspects about the class that it's just such an enjoyable thing. So many of your abilities use AoE, so when you're in AoE or cleave scenarios, you feel like an absolute monster. Single target wise, your DPS is a little lackluster, and again, any sort of heavy magical damage or consistent damage, if you're tanking all the time, that's when your cooldown starts to kind of lose a little bit. If you're thinking fights like the Dragons of Nightmare that's going to be coming up, you're going to be fighting the entire time, you're always tanking something, so there's not really much of a chance to get your Demon Spikes to refresh, you know, your cooldown on your Fiery Brand, all that kind of stuff, which is why some of the other classes I think are going to be a little bit better for starting out tanking. But I mean, overall, it's just a fun spec to play. Something that I do want to know is that even having 2 talent tiers, I'm enjoying myself, and I know that once I get access to things like Fellblade, which massively increase your pain generation, once you get access to things like Soul Rending, Feed the Demon, Sigil of Chains, Blade Turning, Spirit Bomb, you get all these different things working together, and it really just starts to get fleshed out. I'm gonna keep saying that I really don't like the fact that they didn't let us have more talents. At least when we were starting out, you saw there I almost died. That's pretty fun. But the decision was made because they wanted to make it easier for people to just jump right into it and play the game, the class. And that decision, as much as I don't agree with it, even with it being there, it's just such an enjoyable experience. You will say though, again, just like I was saying earlier, it is a reactionary self-healing class, very similar to the DK. What does this mean? It means that you are spiky. And I'm sure if you've noticed, if you've been playing it since it came out, I'm probably going to die here. But, you know, your healers maybe sometimes panic heal you up. There are going to be moments where you aren't entirely sure if you're going to make it through something because you are very spiky up and down. Now, again, I don't have the best gear in the world. I have decent gear, especially for being a Vengeance Demon Hunter. But even then, if I had full maxed out mythic gear, like, I'm not going to be as stable as my monk. No way. Burst damage doesn't exist for my monk. It definitely exists for my demon hunter. And really, I just wanted to go ahead and showcase what it's like to tank some bosses. This is mostly a magic damage heavy fight, so you're going to be able to go ahead and see what it's like when, you know, Demon Spikes is not going to save you from the massive spike damage, and you only have demonic wards, and that guy's casting and going to murder me. So I feel like it's a good example to show as far as what it's like, and, you know, what you can reasonably expect to be having to deal with going into the expansion. And I want to make sure that I say once again, even with these faults, I still personally enjoy the Demon Hunter. I'm still going to put a lot of work into it, but it's not something I'm going to be maining. Probably going to be ulting, maybe seeing if there's an opportunity where they buff them again and they make them very powerful. But it's the passive mitigation that is a little bit at fault. And you're going to go ahead again and see it on this fight. Zul'Horak, of course, is a fight where he's going to be casting a Fell Cleave or like a Void Cleave on the tanks, and it's purely magic damage. Now, on something like a Monk, before you could use Guard, now you use like Diffuse Magic, or you have the Iron Skin Brew passively mitigating magic damage. Now I really have Fiery Brand and Power Wards every 20 seconds, and then just taking the hit and hoping that my Soul Cleave can heal me back up and that I don't die from the hit itself. It's definitely an interesting spec, and I was actually surprised that they went ahead and went for the self-healing route. You actually feel a lot like a warrior in that there's a lot of builders, and that you're taking pain from taking damage and all that kind of stuff that's going on. You have Demon Spikes that is very much like shield block, and that it's a charge that's rotating. You have to try to keep it up as much as possible, but then you have the mix in self-healing that's very DK-ish. It's pretty interesting. It's very interesting overall. Again, it's fun, just not, I don't think, fully realized. And hopefully Zul'Horak is going to do enough damage to me that I can really showcase that. But let's go ahead and just get this pulled in right. I'm not going to waste pots or anything like that on this because, you know, Raid Finder, let's not waste money. Anything that I don't exactly use, I'm going to be selling at the end of this expansion anyways. So, Fell Strike and Power Wards is going to make it very, very easy. Right, Demon Spikes is kind of yeah, it's kind of pointless, honestly, to even use. Probably just better to save onto my stuff. Let's go ahead and pull this. I don't know what the other tank's doing, but he pulled aggro there for a little while. So it's good for the auto attacks, I suppose. It's not really that big of a deal for anything else. Go ahead and, so he's going to use his flurry. We're going to Fiery Brand that and be just fine because we're taking 40% reduced damage. And then the other tank taunted anyways. So there you go. That's what LFR life is like. But here you guys are easily able to see, you know, it's not very difficult. You have a lot of utility with the sigils. Drop that there. Let's go ahead and make sure that this ad dies nice and quick. It does feel a little monotonous when your pain is, you know, generating so slowly and then, you know, range silence at least. But yeah, it can feel really boring sometimes because you are just spamming and spamming and spamming. You don't have the benefit of, you know, shield slam procs that come from Devastate, that you're spamming that, but, you know, it's not like you're spamming it for too long because eventually you get a proc of some sort. That's the only thing I would say. Like, I enjoy the class, but I'm not ignorant of its faults, right? Exploded there because we're just mixing and matching whatever bosses we're tanking at the moment. This is interesting. I don't know how well this is going to go. Let's see if I can disorient those from their cast real quick. Nope, doesn't look like I can. If I have both on me right now, which is fine, I'd rather have them both on me. That way I can be the purple one. I could be the purple tank, not the green tank. But that's is a criticism I have of the class. It feels very, very spammy, and that's going to get better once you get the artifacts. You get all your talents for sure. It's going to be better then. But I feel like I wanted to go ahead and make this video because I want people to see that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. There is benefits at the end of it, and it's even sometimes enjoyable now. Because I don't want the lack of talents and the lack of fanciness. I mean, at least Havoc has I-beams and backflips and all that other stuff to get people to already get an established player base and interested in them, interested in playing them. I don't want to see Vengeance be a tank where no one's playing them whatsoever because they're just so boring or they're so spammy or they're this or they're that. I would really hate to see that, and I feel like while maybe Vengeance wasn't as fully realized as Havoc was, and maybe didn't have all the attention paid to it the way that Havoc originally did, I do think that they genuinely put a decent amount of work into this spec, and I don't want to see it be dead. Excuse me. I worry about that a little bit, just the fact that they're not ridiculously overpowered like DKs were originally. They do have some genuine faults, and they are a little bit spammy, and just the fact that they have 2 talent tiers, as they're being introduced, I worry that maybe some people are going to not be interested in playing the spec. Damn, everything's going to hell real quick. We have no communication or coordination going on right now. We will be fine. We have enough people alive for now. Oh man, LFR. I haven't been in LFR in a while. Let me take the green one. And let's pop in a meta because style. But yeah, guys, that's really just what I wanted to go ahead and do as far as this video. I just wanted to talk about how much fun it is playing this spec. Just knowing that there's going to be so many different talent combinations later on. I mean, if you think you can take Abyssal Strike comboed into Flame Crash, we're just going to make every time you do the Infernal Strike drop a Sigil of Flame. It's just going to be so much fun. But I mean, that's my biggest thing here. I wanted to make this just to show you guys I really, really, really love this spec. I think it's beautiful. I think it synergizes very, very well. But it has faults. It has spamminess. It has a little bit of boredom here in the pre-patch environment. It has negative aspects to it that hopefully don't completely pull you away from being interested in trying it out. I wanted to go ahead and make this very quick video. I've spoken at length about how the spec is, what's involved in it. I've spoken about how it works, all that kind of stuff. I just wanted to give a personally, just an entirely opinion-based, personal feeling type thing before we get into nitty-gritty numbers and things like that. I want you guys to be aware I am a mythic tank. I'm going to be playing a Guardian Druid. If all of a sudden warriors, or you need to have 2 warriors in your raid, I'm going to be a warrior. If all of a sudden DKs get buffed up the ass, even though I personally don't like playing the DK very much, I'm going to play a DK. But that's why I wanted to go ahead and just have a couple of videos that are going to be coming out in the next few days, just talking about personal feelings, the little things here and there that I wanted to talk about when it came to the different tanks, and particularly for Vengeance, after speaking at length about how it plays, what you have to do, what you have to manage, all the mechanics and everything. I just wanted a purely feeling-based video, which was I just have so much fun on the spec. It's such an enjoyable ride. It's really, really well designed, just not fully implemented just yet. It needs a couple of little extra things, maybe some more passive mitigation so that you can feel like you can take a hit and then react to it. There's going to be a video specifically about the problem with reactionary tanking. It's going to involve DKs and Demon Hunters, but I felt like this deserved its own special video just to be like, this is a lot of fun. I hope you guys try it. I hope that even though you see that there's 2 talents and it's spammy and it's boring, I wanted to go ahead and make sure that I got the love out there for the Vengeance Demon Hunter because I feel like it deserves that love and it deserves a player base, and that's what I was hoping to do here. Anyways, guys, not too informative, but very much just a personal video, very much a feeling one. And if you liked it, I hope you guys drop it a like. If you want to see more, subscribe to the channel. I'm going to be doing a video for Bears, Brewmaster, DKs, and Demon Hunters combined together, what makes Prot Warriors so fantastic for progression, and then maybe another video on Paladins, although I feel that the last video I made where they have some problems, I feel like that was really the start of my little, one-off series here that I'm doing right before the expansion actually comes out. But anyways, guys, I appreciate the time that you guys took to watch this video, and I hope you guys have a fantastic day. Vengeance Demon Hunters, man. Try it out. Try it out. I promise you, it gets better, and I wanted to have a player base and an investment from people from day one. See you guys around.